Okay, so we're back, and I'm gonna put it this way: I'm trying to tell them. Let's get into it. Hard Talk Radio, live in 4K. Fair use.
You know, I'm going to give you a white woman's perspective of black men on here wearing, and black women wearing MAGA hats, saying "Make America Great Again." Trump 24. I mean, it's all these idiots keep screaming and they're wearing the stupid hats, and they're black. Let me tell you a secret. Let me tell you a secret from a white woman who listens to the Republicans. When they say "Make America Great Again," they mean white. I mean, you better wait.
I mean, I've been trying to tell people on this Blue app on social media for as long as I can remember, for a couple of months now. You got to ask yourself the question: when was America great for black people in this country? When was it great? Okay, that's a simple question that you ask, and they can't answer it. They come up with nonsense like, well, the Republicans freed, the Republicans freed the blacks. First off, it was no consequence to Lincoln. All right. Lincoln said, if I could free the blacks to get the South back in the Union, I'll do it. If I don't have to free the blacks to get the South back into the Union, I'll do it. Okay. That's basically it. And Lincoln reimbursed those slave masters $300, $500 a piece. Did he give anything to those blacks who went through all that horrors of slavery, working for free, or something to compensate for all that abuse they suffered? No. So you got to miss me with Republicans. Lincoln's freed the slaves. Okay. And plus, according to the Constitution, blacks are still known as 3/5 of the human being. 3/5. You're a whole human being. You're only known as 3/5 of the human being. Okay? That's something to think about. When you talk this way, blacks on the Republican side want to act mad and accuse you of things, of being a Democrat. I'm not a Democrat. I'm a registered Republican, but I see the nonsense a mile away. Just use critical thinking and you could see it too. All right. Trump also wants to terminate the Constitution. So what does that tell you? That should have some alarm bells. Your spider sense should be going off.
You better wake the F up. They mean white people. When they say "Make America Great Again," read in between the lines, my brothers and sisters. Read between the lines. See, I'm not the racist. We're not the racist. We are your allies. The LGBTQ+.
Oh boy. She goes into that, I cringe. Okay? Because the Democrat Party is also the enemy of black people, because you can't get reparations, really, unless everybody else is included. Anything for the Japanese, and nobody else is included but the Japanese. Anything else for Jews, nobody's included but the Jews. Okay? And so on. But for black people to get reparations, everybody else has to be included in their stuff. Okay?
The trans.
I cringe even more.
The gays, the interracial marriages. We're all your allies.
I could deal with the interracial marriage.
They're the enemy. You are on the side of the enemy. What?
Democrats are also the enemy. That's what Malcolm X was right. But I'm going to let this white woman talk.
The actual F is wrong with you. When they say "Make America Great Again," that doesn't doesn't include you. You cannot be that stupid. You cannot be that naive. You cannot be that uneducated that you cannot see the difference. What the actual F is wrong with you? We're trying to help you, be there for you, be human, save humanity. And remember, make America great again. Remember, you weren't, black people weren't included in the original America.
They weren't. You were slaves. Okay? You are also a delicacy to be eaten. Yes, black people were eaten by white people as a delicacy. Your skin was used as furniture. You were given as Christmas presents at Christmas time to other white people. You were taken from your family and given to white people as Christmas presents in the time of slavery. You were buck broken if you dared to fight back against the slave master. The slave master will pull a Diddy Combs on you. Take that, take that. They would make the son have relations with his mother, and that's how you get the word MF. This is the America. Make America great again. Now let's hear from an actor from Breaking Bad when he hears the MAGA slogan. Let's hear from him what he had to say about it.
When I see the Make America Great Again, my comment is, do you accept that that could possibly be construed as a racist remark? When was it ever great in America for the African American?
So Bryan Cranston has stirred up a lot of controversy recently on the internet with an interview highlighting something that a lot of places have studied for some time, talking about how the phrase "Make America Great Again" and other phrases similar tend to highlight the lack of empathy we're always seeing from the right, and their overall consistent inability to step outside of their own experience and acknowledge others. Because at its core, that is what empathy is, the ability to share someone else's feelings or experience by imagining what it would be like to be in that person's situation. Which is kind of the main reason I always say, I have some friends and acquaintances that are kind of on the right, but I would never date someone on the right because someone who has a lot of empathy is important to me in dating, and cue all of the crying boys who totally don't care in my comments. The phrase itself, "Make America Great Again," perfectly embodies their utter lack of empathy. Because it brings up the great question that they can never seem to answer is, when was America great for absolutely everybody and not just straight white men, is the catch. I mean, African Americans weren't even technically freed until 1869. And they couldn't really all even vote, and not even voting safely at this point, till 1870. They're still fighting being able to vote safely and easily to this day. The Civil Rights Act wasn't passed until 1964, not that long ago. Married women weren't even allowed to own their own property or keep their own working wages until 1848. We definitely couldn't even vote until 1920. Even though technically we were supposed to be able to have our own bank accounts in the 60s, many banks would still not allow them to be signed off without a husband. And without a husband, we weren't allowed to own credit cards until 1974. Which is wild when you consider that's close to 10 years off from when my oldest sibling was born. And many of us weren't even allowed to be married legally everywhere until 2015, and they're still fighting that constantly to this day. When you say the phrase "Make America Great Again," who does that include? Because it excludes all women, all people of color, LGBTQ communities. Do you want to do the math on who's left in that equation? Yeah, it's people who have no ability to see outside of their lived
experience. That's basically it. Okay? That is basically what it's about. Okay, the right will lie to you, lie to you, and lie to you. Okay, hold on 1 minute. Okay, I'm back.
Anything that you don't like, you liberals just call anything that you don't like racist. Make America Great Again isn't a racist slogan. It just means we want America to go back to when things were better.
And when where things were better, they can never ask that. They can never get a straight answer. You can never get I'm sorry, you can never get a straight answer from them when you ask them this question.
Okay, I'll play along. Can you specify exactly what time you're talking about and in what way it was better? Like when I was growing up back in the 80s. Back then, we didn't have to worry about all this violence.
80s, you had a lot of violence, drug dealing. Yeah. Uh-huh. Right.
Violent crime like we see all the time now. Well, that's just blatantly untrue. Murder rates back in 1980 were literally twice as high as they are now. You're just hearing about them more because of social media and cable news. I find that hard to believe. Us kids just used to run around outside all day. You could just leave your...
Who are they talking about? They're talking about white kids. They ain't talking about kids of different colors, because kids of different colors and ethnic groups didn't always live in the suburbs. They lived in the inner city where they had to deal with sometimes, drug abuse, molestation, sometimes witnessing a loved one die, their mother or their father, in some cases, one of their own siblings.
Your door open and unlocked and actually trust your neighbors back then. Maybe you could do those things because you lived in a privileged neighborhood, but the fact of the matter is that not many communities were quite as fortunate. For example, back then, women could be legally essayed by their husbands in several states. Black people were less than 20 years removed from not having equal rights under the law. Homosexuals wouldn't have equal rights until 3 decades later. Just because you remember America as greater back then doesn't mean it wasn't objectively worse for groups of people with different backgrounds from yourself.
And that's basically it. Okay. Make America Great Again only focuses on white people. That's it. They will lie to you. They will say anything they can to try to gaslight people. And they will use people of color, people with my skin, anybody, to make sure to brainwash those who are willing to be allowed to be gaslighted, to fall for their crap. Anybody with a thinking brain will say, you guys are lying. When was America great? Okay. For all people, not just white people. When was America great for black people? When black people were forced to fight 2 world wars and still were called the N-word with the hard ER, hung from trees. When was America great for the Japanese who were put in internment camps during World War II? When was America great for the Chinese during the gold rush, where they found gold, but they were killed by by white settlers to get the gold? When was America great again for Native Americans? When the Europeans came over, gave them blankets with smallpox, took their land, put them on reservations. Okay? When was America great again? What about when it came to, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street? When was America great again for black people? Black slaves were used to build the White House. Did you know that? When was America great again? For non-white people. Can't even point to the presidents because George Washington said the Native Americans deserve nothing from the white man but utter destruction and ruin. Okay. When was America great again? This is why they want to not have, they want the education system destroyed with Project 2025. This is why they don't want Black slavery taught in schools. They do not want that. PragerU even tried to say blacks love being enslaved. They love their master. The same person that would force himself on your wife or force himself on your daughter, then breed those children that he made and sell them in the slave market. Or the white woman would, try to force the young black slave to have sex with her when the husband was away. Keep asking these questions. When was America great again for black people? Don't come at the Constitution don't come at the founding fathers, because the founding fathers were basically straight up. Don't try to use the Christian thing, because I'll say it again. The Treaty of Tripoli says America was not a Christian nation. What are you talking about? I remember listening to a TikTok video of a black woman on had a radio station and asked a white woman who called in, when was America great again for black people? The white woman kept stuttering, kept lying, lie after lie after lie. They're trying to hide it, but people who are not stupid will know that America was never great for non-whites in this country. Okay? Never was. That's the thing. Anyway, that's all I got to say for now. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Leave a like. Push this information into the algorithm. Later.